What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for VH1 Family Reunion Love and Hip Hop Edition Season 2, Episode 4. So listen, I know I'm a little late with this, but it's whatever. Okay. So we start this episode off. We see that Erica is happy. Safari is happy. They reconciled that night. They, enjoyed each other's company in their bedroom, We find out that it is JoJo's day. They got me calling her JoJo. Yo-Yo's day. Now, Jonathan and them are calling her JoJo because in Spanish, Yo-Yo is JoJo. And she said that they could call her JoJo, but it's Yo-Yo, y'all. We call her Yo-Yo. The hell? So, we find out that Erica is having breakfast, I guess, with Brooke and with Mimi, and she's telling them that they, her and Safari had a good night. They're in a good place. They, again, enjoyed each other's company, and that's the best space that they've been in a long time. We see that, did I say it was Yo-Yo's day to host the event, and she's having basically a soul food cookout is what she's doing. She wants to celebrate the food of the Caribbean, the food of the South, and then she gave a little history about the food, how, soul food comes from, the food we were given the scraps and we turned it into delicacies, yada, yada, yada. If you don't know the history of soul food, you don't know nothing about it, go Google it, look it up, teach yourself something, child. Safari ended up playing basketball with Marcus and Booby, and Booby said that this was a great opportunity for him to let everybody know that him and Marcus, they got past, they beefed, they squashed it, and they're in a good space, right? So there was that. That was all great. That was all great. So at the cookout, Brooke talked to Booby about what's going on between him and Sin, and he said, "Listen, I'm in a good place. We're just figuring things out, getting to know each other, making new friends. So there's that, child. Whatever." Then we see where Cisco says he has a problem with Safari. Now listen, y'all. He got a problem with Safari because he invited Safari to a cookout for his aunt, who happened to be Deb Atney, which I didn't know that they were connected, child. I didn't know that was his aunt. And he told Safari, I asked her, if you gonna come. If you're not gonna come, don't come. But don't play with me. So he ain't show up to the cookout. And he said basically what ended up happening was he had to explain for the rest of the night because his name was on the place card why he wasn't there. First of all, did nobody give a fuck that Safari wasn't there? Second of all, if Deb Atney want to have a conversation with Safari, Deb Atney can have a conversation with Safari. If Deb Atney wants Safari at her cookout, Deb Atney will invite Safari to her cookout. You were mad because you bragged to all your friends and family, or you made it seem like, yeah, Safari coming, yeah, I got Safari coming, which I still don't understand why, because let's take this a step further. We all do remember that Deb Atney was Nicki Minaj's first real manager. That Deb Atney was the person that helped Nicki Minaj become Nicki Minaj, right? So we do know that Deb Atney has a relationship with Safari. Good, bad, or indifferent. They already know each other. So if Safari didn't come to her cookout, her party, maybe it's deeper than making you look bad. But of course, Cisco, being the egomaniac that he is, he automatically took it as, you were doing that to embarrass me. You embarrassed me in front of my family. So of course, Safari was like, well, first of all, that was like 3 years ago, so I don't even know why we're talking about that. I didn't come, sorry. It was 3 years ago. So Rich comes over and he pulls, Cisco away, and he's like, listen, you and whatever beef you have with Safari, like, he dealing with some deeper things right now probably ain't the time. Well, I disagree. If this whole show is about everybody coming together and airing out their problems and airing out their differences, then now is the time. I just think it's stupid, which is maybe what Rich knows, and that's why Rich pulled him away. But I just think it's dumb as hell. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the conversation. It's just a stupid reason for you to be mad at Safari. But okay. So then Jonathan decides that he still feels some kind of way about what happened with him and Zales and with Bobby or whatever. So he's talking to Bobby about it. And Bobby's thing is, first of all, I'm not offended when Zales says that I'm too gay for him because I am. He was like, I'm very flamboyant, I'm over the top, I'm extra, and everybody, that ain't everybody's flavor. So I'm okay with that. Like I didn't get offended by it. Jonathan did. He said, but I also would not compare being gay to being black. Like I don't think that's a fair comparison. He said I wouldn't compare oppression to discrimination. And when what, it's funny when he put it like that, I was like, I see his point. So, but I do think Bobby went a little far when he was like, well, I think he felt like you were racist. Because I don't think Zell thought he was being racist. I just think Zell, again, didn't appreciate the comparison. And Jonathan was saying, well, I didn't mean it in a racial way. I was just making a comparison to, you're proud that you're black, I'm proud that I'm gay. And for you to make comments like, I'm too gay for you, that hurt me. So Zales walks up and Jonathan starts having a conversation with Zales. And Zales was like, listen, I wasn't trying to call you racist like that. And he told Bobby, he was like, you said I said that? Like, I wasn't trying to call you racist. He said, but I do feel like, I don't feel like that's a comparison. He said, listen, I made a joke. You ain't take it as a joke. And I apologize for that. I feel like Jonathan should have took the win and left it at that. But he didn't. So we continued to have the conversation. So then Zell was like, well, listen, I'm a man. Like, I'm a man first before any of that. I'm a man first before any of that. And that's where you started losing me a little bit, Zell. Because, again, I understand what you're saying about... He said, listen, there are different types of gay people. Like, there are different types of gay people. We come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. And I just don't like the fact that, we always seem to be represented as this over-the-top flamboyant person. I can agree with that, Zell. I see your point on that. But when he started making the example of, but I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man, and Jonathan was like, well, hold up, what's your definition of a man? Because I'm a man. Like, I stepped up and I took care of my nieces and my nephew, and I raised them like they were my own. Like, to me, that's being a man, taking care of your responsibility, looking out for your family. Again, that's a valid point, Jonathan. But Zell's thing was, I don't feel like, he was like, I like, I'm gay, I identify as a bisexual man, but I don't sit around talking about having sex with a man all the time. I just think that's weird, and I don't do that. Like, that may get, that makes straight people feel uncomfortable. Well, I don't agree with that either, because my thing is, later on this night, the whole night is about sex. It's a whole sex thing. And I just feel like heterosexual people don't never have a problem making gay people feel uncomfortable about, like people, like, and I'm a heterosexual woman, but we do it all the time. We talk about sex all the time. So why should gay people feel like they can't have those same conversations in mixed spaces? Y'all don't have no problem having those conversations in mixed spaces. So again, I understood where Zales was coming from with a lot of what he was saying, but I also feel like some of his mindset does go back to where Jonathan is coming from, like that he's sort of like, I won't say in homophobia, but just in a state of not being comfortable in his own skin. Now, that's my opinion. And so Jonathan still felt like they were kind of coming at him. So he was trying to use the example because earlier in the day, Safari had showed him a video of him and Erica having sex. Why Safari showed him a video of him and Erica having sex, I don't know. And Erica didn't seem to have a problem with it because she was standing right there and they were laughing and giggling about it. So Jonathan used the example about, earlier today, I saw a video of Safari and Erica having sex. Erica was like, what? How the fuck I get in this? And I do agree, like Jonathan, of all the examples that you could use, why are you bringing them into that? Like, first of all, that's not something that you needed to repeat. Like, I don't feel like that was anything you ever needed to repeat. Second of all, why in the world, why was that even something that was going to be a part of the conversation? So Erica gets upset and she walks off and she makes a comment talking about some, basically makes a racial comment at him about being black or whatever, which Erica, girl, sit down. You just sit there. So then we have Sin talking to Rich, wanting to know what the deal was with Cisco. Like, why is Cisco acting weird around me? Every time he get around me, it's this weird energy. What's the problem? What's the issue? Let me know. And so Rich was like, well, I know he wants to talk to you, but he feels kind of weird about having the conversation, but I know he wants to talk to you about it, whatever. And so she was like, okay, well, he need to just talk to me. Like, instead of him walking around here being all weird, like, we need to just have a conversation with me. So later on that night, it's a sex party. It's a sex instead of sexcapades, instead of charades, it's sex charades, whatever it is. So everybody is there. All the ladies are dressed up. I mean, everybody has sort of like pajama attire, but of course the ladies are sexy, sexy, sexy. Erica Mena and Mimi are sort of hosting the night, and they're playing sex charades. And of course they have to make a joke about Mimi's sex tape, which is, she seems to take it all in stride. I mean, at this point, what the hell you gonna do about it, child? What you gonna do? And they get to drinking, and they have to act out different sexual positions, and it is what it is. Shekinah, I have no idea why you were here. Like, you were always mad, you were always angry, you don't like nothing, you think everything is corny. Why are you even here, ma'am? She don't like the sex night. She ain't like being at the beach. She ain't like doing. I have not seen her smile or be happy about nothing. Why are you here? So they go through their whole little sexcapade situation, and at one point, Cisco asked to talk to Sin. So they go off to the side to have this conversation. Y'all, Cisco is delusional. Because on one hand, Cisco said he understands why Sin is upset with him. But on the other hand, he feels like the only reason why Sin is hanging out with Booby is to make him jealous. Sir, what? Sin was like, I haven't talked to you in 5 years. Like, what would make you think that I'm doing anything to make you jealous? I haven't talked to you in 5 whole years. What? Like, and I'm sitting here thinking the same thing. I'm like, what? Like, what is wrong with you? There's something wrong with this man. But anyway, Sin was like, don't play games with me. Like, if you want to apologize, apologize. If we want to talk about the song, that's it. That's the only thing I'm here talking to you about. Because I don't owe you an explanation about nothing. And if you think that I'm here trying to do anything to make you mad, then please know that that's not what this is about. Now, while they're having this conversation, Mimi is explaining to the rest of the group what the issue is. Because most people don't even know that Sin and Cisco even have an issue, much less what the issue is about. So they're breaking the issue down and explaining the issue to, explaining it to the rest of the group. So when Sin comes back, they're like, girl, what happened? What happened? And Sin is like, I don't want to have this conversation with everybody. Like, I'm not in the mood. I don't feel like it. I feel like there was alcohol involved. I feel like things had an exaggerated response because of the alcohol. I feel like Sin was in a funky mood about it. But either way, she didn't want to have the conversation in front of everybody. And then Jonathan, being who she, being her guard dog, for lack of a better word, was like, she doesn't want to talk to y'all. She doesn't want to talk to everybody. And so Erica was like, well, shit, we were out here defending you. Like, you don't have to get an attitude about it. We were defending you. And Sin was like, because Erica was like, well, you need to tell us. And Sin was like, I don't have to tell you nothing. And she was like, if we're going to talk about something, let's talk about you and that fake Instagram page. So of course then Erica starts cussing and going off, talking about something, I made you, bitch, you build a bear, bitch, I made you, bitch. And Sin was like, whatever, fuck you, whatever, bitch. So then her and Jonathan end up walking off, and well, actually no, she ended up walking off, and Jonathan stayed and was trying to defend Sin. And then they started coming after Jonathan about the whole racist comments from earlier and the comments, the situation with him and Zell. So then he walks off and he's like, listen, I'm ready to go. He said, I was here to resolve whatever needs to be resolved, and I don't have no problem talking through whatever we need to talk through. But this is not a conversation. This is an attack, and I ain't come here for that. So Sin say she leaving. Jonathan say he leaving. Rich Dollars was like, you can't go nowhere. We said we was going to stick this out. Jonathan was like, whatever, and deuces. And that's the conversation. That's it. So, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.